one of the hardest things to do is run away from the car again when you know you're really struggling. 20k in, just gotta do a 5k out and back. Just gotta do it.
Welcome to week 2 of this Valencia Marathon training block. We're going all in! This week we're gonna hit 100 miles, maybe. I'm not a volume chaser, we'll see how it goes. I'll take each day as it comes. I would like to get to about 100 miles this week, but we shall see. Just tick off the sessions, tick off the easy runs, take each day as it comes, see how I feel, and hopefully get a big volume week with some nice long run, a couple of nice sessions. Got a marathon on Sunday, Amsterdam Marathon, but I will I keep saying that. I will be pacing Kelly, not only pacing Kelly is the most important thing. Hopefully she has an amazing marathon, but yeah, I've got a 30k tasty long run on Thursday and double threshold tomorrow. So tonight I'm just getting on the treadmill for about an hour easy, ticking along. Zone 2, nice easy aerobic work. Let's get it done. Before I dive into the run, I wanted to thank Soar Running for sponsoring this YouTube series, for believing in me and sponsoring this content as we chase down a massive PB in Valencia Marathon. Soar Running does the best kit out there. If you haven't tried it, you have to try it. It's just so premium, so light, so nice to wear. You really do feel the difference. So if you haven't tried Soar Running, then make sure you try that. I have got a discount code. I've forgotten what it is. I'll put it here for 15% off. So yeah, check out Soar Running. Try it out. Let me know what you think in the comments of Soar Running, and hopefully you'll love it as much as I do. But thank you for Soar Running for sponsoring this content. Now let's do an easy run. Run done. I've called it a 40 minutes for 3 reasons. Number 1, I'm actually getting really fit. I think this is the fittest I've ever been. And my heart rate just wouldn't get up. So I ended up like putting the treadmill up to 16 kilometers an hour, which is like 6 minutes per mile. And still my heart rate wasn't where I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a little bit higher than that today. So I was clipping along and it felt great. But then I was thinking to myself, you've got double threshold tomorrow. You shouldn't really be doing an hour at 6 minutes per mile today. So yeah, so that was going through my head. That was number 1 reason. Number 2, which is probably the main reason, is I started to feel a bit sick. So really easy intensity, but just like reflux. And it's because I've just been like gorging on the kids' leftover dinners. And I don't know if anyone else does this, but if there's leftovers left, which there always are, I can't help but picking. So yeah, I've eaten a bunch of I got on the treadmill, which wasn't ideal. It's given me a bit of reflux, which is annoying. And the 3rd reason is tying back to the first reason. I've got a double threshold tomorrow and it's late Monday evening now. So I need to be thinking about tomorrow's day rather than an extra 20 minutes, which isn't going to do that much except for fatigue me. So yeah, that's my 3 excuses. Buy them or don't buy them, I don't care. Monday's banked, 6 miles done, 10k, let's go, 40 minutes. Morning, it's Tuesday, it's double threshold. This morning I am heading down the lake to do 5 times 6 minutes with 1 minute recovery. When I say threshold, I'm talking about LT2, that second threshold. It can be so confusing, the term threshold. Coaches and academics all use it in a different way. So yeah, I'm talking about that second threshold, that if you're racing for an hour type effort. I like to actually do this morning one a little bit easier. So I'll be taking my lactate testing kit down and testing my lactate after the session. And I'm hoping to see a score of around 2.5 millimole. Don't want it any higher. And then for the second session, I'll be in the controlled environment of the treadmill, and I'll be doing 10 times 3 minutes later off a minute. And then I'm allowed to go a little bit faster, a little bit harder. It's the same recovery, so you can go a bit faster, and I'll allow my lactate to go up to about 3, which would be a good day. So I like to think of this morning one as sub-threshold and the second one as closer to that LT2. So paces, I don't know. I've done this session, I do it to feel, I check heart rate, and try and just have a controlled effort, but still working a little bit. So one thing I did want to address is why I'm doing double threshold. Let's start why I'm doing threshold anyway. I'm doing threshold because it directly supports marathon pace. The faster my threshold means the faster I can hold for marathon pace and the easier it's going to feel. So if I can get my threshold to say 5 minutes per mile, that means that 5:20 is going to feel cruisy. I'm not going to build up too much lactate and it's going to feel good. The second part is, well, why double threshold? I could go out and do 15 times a K, say, at threshold, which is a great session, one I've done before. But double threshold's actually easier. If I go out this morning and do 30 minutes sub-threshold, and then I go out later or on the treadmill and do 30 minutes threshold, that's an hour of threshold split up with a whole day of eating, recovering. Whereas if I went out and did 15 times a K or 12 times a K or something like that, that's like 30 to 45 minutes in one go. It's a great session, but your legs start to fatigue and find it stressful towards the end, so it's actually more of a stress on the body. It is a session I'll be returning to later in the block, but I want to condition myself, get my threshold in a great place before I go to those longer sessions and run threshold on tired legs. Double threshold is almost synonymous with the Ingebrigtsens these days. They do double threshold on a Tuesday and a Thursday. As you know, Jakob Ingebrigtsen has been dominating the 1500 meter and 5000 meters for the last couple of years, albeit Jake Whiteman got the better of him in the Worlds. But yeah, they do a lot of double threshold, and the reason they do it is because you can increase your threshold really nicely, but it's less stress than doing these bigger sessions. And what they say is they want to be doing as much faster running, but controlled so it doesn't stress the body, as they can to improve. So it's been working for a lot of athletes. I'm hoping it'll help me in this marathon block, early in the marathon block, and then as we get closer to the marathon, I'll be doing some longer, more stressful sessions to prepare myself for the fatigue and pounding that the marathon entails. So, just on the warm up, taking my lactate before we start, 1.9, and yeah, nice controlled running, so it should hopefully be about 2.5 millimoles. The pace, faster than marathon pace, but controlled. And yeah, let's try and bank a nice controlled session this morning, not getting carried away. First one, very controlled, 5:20 a mile, feeling good. Bit slower than I was expected, but it felt like the right intensity, so not to get carried away. $5:23, nice. So I take my minute jogs really nice and slow, let the heart rate come down, let my body buffer some of that lactate. I don't do them as floats. 4 done, 5:22 per mile that one. 30 seconds jogging left and then we go again. Session done, time to do lactate. Quickly get in the comments, predict what is my lactate going to be. Have I overcooked it? 2.5 we're looking for. If it's over 3 then I have overcooked it. So lactate's 3.7. Oh, I don't know if I trust that. I hate bad data. It just doesn't feel like 3.7. Maybe I'm just being naive and I've gone out too hard. But it felt so controlled. I have had issues with this lactate monitor before. It used to give me readings of like 9 at rest and stuff. So it might be that I just shouldn't use this lactate monitor. But yeah, I'm really happy with the session. Annoyed that the lactate didn't sort of like give me a pat on the back afterwards, but yeah, anyway, I need to stop complaining about science and just do the work and get on with it. Time to get home, recover, and get on the treadmill later. So it's time for session 2 of the day on the treadmill, 10 times 3 minutes. Gonna start at 18.5 kilometers an hour, see how that feels and go from there. Not really sure what pace to do this, but I'll try and feel it out. Hopefully my lactate won't be too high. And yeah, just bank a decent session. It's 30 minutes of work, 10 minutes of recovery, 10 minutes warm up, 10 minutes cool down, an hour, and that'll top off a nice double threshold day. What on earth just happened? An unbelievable session. So I started at 18.5 kilometers an hour, which is about 5:13 a mile, and my heart rate was so low. So I put it up for the second rep, put it up for the third rep, ended up at 19.5 kilometers an hour, which is 3:04 per kilometer, which is faster than 5 minutes per mile. And still my heart rate wasn't as high as I was hoping to get it for the session, but I decided to leave it at that. It was such a weird feeling. I felt so aerobically controlled, but my legs were going, my legs were absolutely flying. So biomechanically, it felt really fast. Felt like I was almost sprinting. Felt like I was running a 5K. But aerobically, my breathing was just so controlled. Such a bizarre feeling. Yeah, I did my lactate afterwards and it was 2.8. So I got the lactate spot on, exactly where I wanted the session to be.
which means I probably did overcook this morning session because my heart rate was higher this morning than it was on this evening session. But yeah, just so bizarre, but such a confidence boost. I think the treadmill is just going to be, I know it's the treadmill, it's not outdoors, it's different, but maybe this is just going to, every time I do a treadmill session, I'm going to get a massive pat on the back and a boost to my ego, because that was incredible. I loved that. Just running so fast but feeling so controlled is an amazing feeling that I don't get very often. Crazy, absolutely, I loved it. Also, this vest, like the singlets that Saw do, it's insane. They don't hold on to any water. Any other singlet I would wear, I would now go like that, squeeze it, and it would just like drip with water because I was sweating a lot. But with this, it's just like wicks it away, and yeah. The performance of these Saw singlets are incredible, which is why all the running clubs are now like ordering their kit from Saw, because you can get your running club in a Saw singlet. So hopefully my Swansea Harriers one will arrive at some point, because I love to race in Saw, and I'd like to race Swansea Harriers as well, if that makes sense. The Ron Hill one I've got. I'm not going to slag off Ron Hill because he was a great man, but that's vest, singlet, whatever you want to call it, is pretty thick. It's a winter vest, and also mine's really small. It's shrunk in the wash, and also mine's been destroyed by cross country. It's got all mud down the back. So yeah, I'm in need of a new Swansea Harriers vest. I'm waffling, it's time for dinner. I'm just chuffed for that session, you can probably tell. 40 minutes done. Right calf is tight. So I've got two main issues that always seem to pop up in marathon blocks. Left glute, right calf, and then sometimes Achilles as well. But yeah, calf is tight. If it feels like this tomorrow, I won't be doing that hard long run. Tomorrow's run is pretty demanding, pretty taxing. So yeah, hopefully this run has helped ease it a little bit and it'll recover nicely overnight. But yeah, frustrating, but it's one of those things in marathon training. You're going to have to listen to your body, and I'm going to have to listen to mine. Right now it's saying don't do something hard, but we'll assess again tomorrow, and maybe put everything back a day. This week's tight though, because of Amsterdam Marathon on Sunday. It's just going to be difficult to do the 30k hard on Friday with travel. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to move this week around if it doesn't feel good tomorrow. But that's just the challenges of marathon training, and yeah, we'll reassess. One thing I need to address is I basically haven't moved all day. I've been sat at a desk working all day. Maybe I need to get up and go for a walk at lunchtime or something. Just get up a bit more frequently and walk, because I just felt really stiff and everything seems to have seized up today. But yeah, you learn little things, and hopefully we'll get through this week with a decent week. Bye bye, Harry. Bye bye, love you. So I have just dropped Harry off with his nana in Swansea, and I am taking the opportunity to run on one of the best routes around. It's a flat promenade in Swansea. It's a beautiful sunny day. I was actually hoping it'd be a little bit cooler than this. I was hoping it'd be like 12 degrees, but it's like 17. But yeah, it's perfect conditions really. Sunny day. It looks pretty still, not much wind. So I am going to do a specific long run. It's going to be 30k, and it's going to be 30k pretty hard, to be honest. The way I see this run, first of all, let's start with, this is only going to happen if my calf's okay. If my calf's too tight in the first few k, then I'm just going to end the run. But if, say the calf's okay, it's going to be 30k. First 10k is going to be pretty steady, all done to feel. I'll have a quick glance at heart rate and power and pace, but it'll be done to feel. Second 10k, I want to start pushing to that sort of marathon effort, and then the last 10k, send it basically. I want it to be a really solid 30k hardish long run on the front, on the flat, in Alpha Fly, just as specific as possible. This training block, I want to take care of the fundamentals, and for me the fundamentals are a hard long run. But I also want to take care of the small margins, so I will be testing as much as I can today. So I've got the Super Sapiens sensor on, and I'm just trying to practice as much as I can. I've had the same race breakfast that I'm going to have, rice and jam, a mixture of glucose and fructose, and then I will be taking, I think it's 7 gels. I'm trying to train my gut. I'm trying to do what I'm going to do on race day. So there's 25 grams of carbs in each, and hopefully they sit okay. I've got the Saw marathon shorts, which are ideal because they've got pockets and loops, so I can carry loads of gels. So yeah, I'm going to give this long run a go. It's going to be as specific as possible. So I ate 4 hours ago, and I'm going to take the gels at the same time, so I'm going to be taking them in the race, and I'm going to be pushing hard. So yeah, I'm trying to replicate as much as I can for race day early in the block and just try and tweak, train my gut, tweak different things, see what works, what doesn't. So yeah, it's all trial and error. The fundamentals are I want a hard long run, and then all the other little bits are the 1%ers that hopefully I can nail come race day. But the only way to do it is to try things out, assess how they went, and then adjust. So anyway, it's time for me to get out on the sunny front, strip down into my marathon shorts, Saw singlet, which I'll be wearing on race day as well, going with the Alphafly version 1 today. Let's get a tasty long run banked. Right, so I've started with a caffeine Morton gel before I get going. Caffeine is, everyone knows what caffeine does. It reduces your perception of effort. It just wakes you up a bit, makes it feel a little bit easier. And yeah, better get going and see how this goes on this beautiful sunny day. I'm starting down in the Mumbles. I'll head to Swansea and back and forward and back until I've done 30k.
You know when it feels really warm and your pace is decent, you know you've got a tailwind. But 8k in, still feeling cruisy, heart rate's in the right place. Long way to go. Where's this summer come from? It's nearly winter, right? Maybe this is what Valencia will be like. Sunny, a little bit too warm for me, but cruising. $10k in, done the turnaround. I'm really struggling, and I keep thinking about quitting all the time, and I'm not even near 20k. But we'll see what I can do. Just gotta keep one step in front of the other. One of the hardest things to do is run away from the car again when you know you're really struggling. 20k in, just gotta do a 5k out and back. Just gotta do it. So many times I've nearly quit this run, but I'm just telling myself it's non-negotiable. Embarrass the body and it will come back, it will adapt, be stronger for the next one. Just can't give up in the training, otherwise what's going to happen in the race? Find those adaptations. 24k in. Somehow it's done. Not quite sure how I finished that. Embarrass the body, come back stronger. I kept telling myself I like being part of a team, so I kept telling myself you're a team player. Imagine you're on a team with Kelly right now. Don't let her down, lead by example. So that's what I tried to do. Oh, I would have got snot over my face. But yeah, it's like, don't give up. If Kelly's going to give up in the marathon, are you going to tell her to give up, or are you just going to lead by example and power on? So I somehow finished that 30k. You've only got a certain number of hard long runs in a block, so don't abort them if it's just because you're not enjoying it. Embarrass the body, come back stronger. So I will go through loads of stats. I'll put them up on the screen now. But right now I need to go to the shop and get some protein and a drink, some food. That was, what's the word? Not eye-opening, humbling. That was a humbling run. I thought I would be cruising at that pace and then kick it down. And yet it was quite the opposite. I had stomach issues, my legs felt tired, I couldn't press on. My mental strength was rubbish. I just felt really like I couldn't power on. It is only 2 days after double threshold. There is loads of fatigue in my legs, but it was humbling. I'm glad I finished it. I'm glad I powered on and got 30k done, because I'll come back stronger and hopefully these runs will start to click. But yeah, this marathon's not going to be easy. I thought I could literally cruise along at 6 minute miling all day long, but clearly not. So to get down to the sort of goal pace I want, it's going to take a lot of work. But here I am, I'm trying to do my best. I've got all the Super Sapiens data to look at, gels, I'll put up on the screen or whatever when I took them, but I had to skip some because my stomach was so bad I just couldn't. I'm trying to train my gut, but there was a certain level that I just couldn't get any more in today. But I didn't stop, I carried on the whole run. I took loads of gels, so it's a step in the right direction, but I found it tough.